I guess the driver was really about planning for retirement. I mean, that's only, 10, 15 years away. So it was about having the income that can afford our lifestyle. So I think whenever we can get 10, we'll be happy with that. And anything over and above is a bonus. My name is Te Marama Christine, and I'm 49 years old, and I work in IT. And we joined TMAP in April of this year.
I work in the cyber security industry, and I'm 48 years old.
Why did you join TMAP?
So we first heard about TMAP in 2022 when Tārewa, he posted on social media and just gave some information about TMAP, and it was very inspiring for us to see how TMAP was transforming the lives of people. We saw people that, families of 7, mum, dad, and 5 children. There was a young guy, 20, I think. He had just bought his first investment property, and then there were others that we saw as well that were on their 5th, 6th property. So for us, we felt that TMAP wasn't just about selling property. It was about educating people to make informed decisions. It was about empowering people, again, to make those financial decisions, but also creating opportunities for generational wealth. And for us, that's what we were. That's why we came on board. So that was back in 2022, and then life gets in the way, families grow. So we finally joined in April of this year. We live quite comfortably. Our kids have grown up, left home. So it was really about having that affordability once we retire.
I think it hasn't really changed our immediate future, but going forward, it's made our future more tangible. And it's sort of given us clarity and a structured sort of goal to get to. We just bought our first property this year.
Yep.
And we're looking at our second, and then looking into super self-management funds. It's kind of given us that plan that we kind of always just pushed to the back and sort of took holidays and whatnot. But now everything's very tangible and it's very real. Yeah.
Awesome. What about you, Christine?
Similar to what Jared was saying, it's really about having a plan in place. Our strategy with the first property was to invest now for the future. We're almost through the paperwork for the second property with SMSF. So
how's
it's
that?
Yeah, a lot of paperwork, as people have said before us. There's a lot of paperwork involved, but when we sat down with you in that first meeting and we were just strategizing what the plan is, what our goals are, I was thinking, 2 properties, and that was it. Comfortable, happy with 2 properties. But when you put it out there that we could have 10, I'm like, what? Really? 10 properties? So that's kind of, the goal.
And obviously for you guys, lifestyle was really important. You guys, pretty, like you say, very comfortable in life, very comfortable with the life that we're living. Yeah. Lifestyle was really important. What was the piece where it clicked that, lifestyle and property, they don't compete, they can actually work together, and you can have both. When did you realise that?
I think it was once we looked at, our budget, and we looked at, we had tenants in the first property. And when we saw that, it wasn't too much of an impact on our lifestyle, I thought, we can do this. And it gave me a lot more confidence going into the second property. Yeah. So, and I said that right from the onset, that I didn't want anything to change. I didn't want our lifestyle to change. And I think that promise was held. And again, we'll just take those learnings into the next property.
It was funny because when we were prepping for this kind of conversation, we talked about lifestyle, and I said, how often do you guys travel? And Christine was like, generally, 1 big trip a year. But you joined this year, and this year, how many trips have you guys taken?
We've done a lot of travel this year. I can list them if you like, but it was funny. Every time Massey would call us or text us, we were either in England or Cape Town, New Zealand. I think we were in Fiji. So Yeah, we are.
Yeah, and
Enjoying
her
life.
answer was, oh, we generally only go on one big trip a year. And I was
Yeah.
like, you've been on,
Yeah.
every time I've called you, you've been in a different country. So if you don't know it already, guys, TMAP students love to travel. Love to travel. It's a
Yeah.
big thing. And I know lifestyle is important to you guys.
Yes, it's important. And again, this is about funding that for when we retire and having that income through the purchase of properties to provide that income to live the lifestyle that we want.
Yeah, 110%.
I'll just quickly touch on something you learnt with our lifestyle and whatnot, was having negative debt and positive debt, the difference between it and what it can do. Because I always thought, you know, you save and then you go and buy, but having property, it's positive debt it's okay, and it's all right. Mentally, you just got to get your head around that. Once you do, sky's the limit.
Yeah, look, and on that, guys, from a debt perspective, for me, so positive and negative debt, or however you want to phrase it, good and bad debt, you know, so I'm a no debt in terms of, you know, car loans, personal loans, all of that kind of stuff. The only debt in our life is assets, income-producing assets, which you guys would call property. And that's your good debt, whether it's good debt, positive debt, smart debt, like that's the debt that you want, right? So yeah, 100%. So we've talked all day about the cause method and the 5 pillars: control, action, unity, sacrifice, and education. So which of those do you think kind of, you know, best kind of summarises your journey?
So we'll just keep it simple. I think many people have said it before us, but education is really key in making it all happen for us. And the second one was action. I mean, we've been talking about action for so long and we're not getting any younger. So we've just got to, you know, we've got a plan, we've got a strategy, and it's just about doing it.
Mine was education, but you covered it.
What stood out for you?
I think coming to these summits really makes a difference because it's reminding us and that it's achievable.
Yep.
And it's also a refresher. And I was just saying to Paula that there were things that we missed out on the first summit that I'm catching on in this summit. So I think it's just having the confidence, having the team as well to support us. So I think that's been a really big learning curve for us. So I think it's just, you know, working with you and the team just to understand, you know, what opportunities there are for us. One of the first meetings that we had with Edgar was looking at, you know, the different properties that you presented us. If you go with this one, this is how much we're going to be paying. These are down payments, blah, blah, blah. So I think that was very enlightening for us just to understand what options we have. Yeah, and again, that's a whole education piece and learning along the way as well. There were a few hurdles along the way when we signed on the first property. But again, it's all just lessons learned that we'll take into the next property.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What's next for your family? What's the next top of the mountain look like?
I think the top of the mountain would be like to retire comfortably. So we're just kind of on a bend at the moment, and we're looking at our second and third properties.
Christine?
10 will be nice, so I think whenever we can get 10, then we'll be happy with that. And anything over and above is a bonus, so yep.
Love that. 10 properties. Round of applause, please. Thanks very much, guys.